boy. On Netflix, I watched The Invasion, starring Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig, and Jeffrey Wright. Now this is from 2006. It is the third remake of sorts for The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There are some differences here. I didn't really think this was terrible. It was kind of in line with the other remakes, honestly, with the original I think being the best. But anyways, what is it? I guess you could say the famous Dr. Chase Meridian reprises her role here from Batman Forever. She's a psychiatrist, and she has these patients, and this lady is complaining that, hey, my husband's not really my husband. Well, why don't you take some medication? And I'm like, Jesus, way to listen. She's dating Daniel Craig. Her ex-husband was some kind of scientist, and he was investigating this meteor thing that landed. And, or was it a spaceship crash? I think it was a spaceship crash, and it looked like shit. It's from 2006. You should have had your shit together, CGI people. So, yeah, he's investigating this, and he got a cut on him from this debris, and it infected him. And when he wakes up, he's been overtaken. You know, it's not pod people anymore. Now there's like a virus that gives you a CGI mask of green snot. And if somebody startles you during the transformation process that occurs while you sleep, well, it's game over, man, game over. So anyways, people are getting affected, and there's a few adults who figure some shit out. And I kind of like this approach instead of, what, I don't believe you, you're young. I like having adults take the lead in my horror movies. Now, the trouble here is, there's some things that are a little contradictory. One, I don't really like the way the editing goes down. Daniel Craig will say something like, we need you to get out of the city, and then they'll show bits of them escaping while he's still talking about going and doing it. So it's like some kind of multi-stage sound bridge. And it's a little, preferentially, I don't care for it. On top of this, we have scenes in the background. World peace. All these creatures now get along because they all vomit on each other, and then when they go to sleep, they transform, right? Well, why do we have like George W. Bush celebrating with these other world leaders? How did that get in there? Because if the tell for these guys is that they don't have emotions, then why show us them celebrating world peace? How are they supposed to be having any kind of celebration at all? Well, Chase Meridian finds out that her son is like immune to this shit. She tries to rescue him, but finds out that her ex-husband is infected and stuff, and while she's leaving, a dog appears on her car. I don't think anyone threw a dead dog at them, but there's a lot of dog getting killed off here because the dogs don't like these creatures. You know, like they're Terminators. And they're getting choked out and just thrown in the trash. But she's teaming up with Daniel Craig. She's gonna go look for her kid. He draws like a distraction for her. She has to go. Anyway, she pretends to blend in and stuff. Finds out where her kid is, and makes a getaway in this like parking garage. And there is some excitement here. Like the editing. Yeah, I said that multi-stage sound bridge thing wasn't so great, but there are other things that make this seem very much like a contemporary movie, more so than the other remakes. She's like holed up in a pharmacy. She's gonna try to take some stuff so she doesn't go to sleep. Gave her son orders to give her a shot if she starts falling asleep and shit. Give her some adrenaline. And Daniel Craig comes in, and it's like, hey, so good to see you. Unfortunately, I'm not Daniel Craig so much anymore. Now I have even less of a personality. But come with us, you know, it's peaceful. Well, what about my son? So she's like willing to go along with this. What about my son? There's no place in the world for someone who doesn't fit in. So she's like, hell with that shit. Starts shooting people in the knees. And then gets in a car, and makes this getaway on top of a parking garage where Jeffrey Wright's standing by in like a helicopter. And it's convenient enough for him. He's like talking on the phone during stuff. He's like, yeah, you know, all the Nobel Prize laureates, they're like all teaming up to get this thing sorted out. Wouldn't that have been the movie? Like, this comes in feeling a little short. We probably should have saw their dilemma in trying to solve the virus. You know, maybe one of them has actually been turned, or people at the facility are being converted. Well, but they have attack choppers hovering overhead. I don't know if that'd really stop it, to be honest with you. Oh, but then we have this ending scene, this epilogue, where we're talking to Jeffrey Wright, and we're like, yeah, so basically we solved everything. The virus has been cured. Everybody's gone back to normal, for better or worse. Look at the news. Everybody's resumed their fighting in the Middle East. Yeah, we have this lecture on civility right here. And then we have Daniel Craig. He's perfectly fine now. Everybody's okay. And I'm thinking, this is a convenient virus story for this movie, because in the other versions, the pods take over the people, right? But now they have a virus that can be reversed, so everybody who didn't get killed as an alien when you're fighting them, I guess, everybody who didn't kill themselves even, gets to have a good old happy ending. Yeah, you know, it's a little hit or miss. I wouldn't say this is particularly awful. If you enjoyed the others in the, not the others starring Nicole Kidman, but I'm saying the other films in this series. Can you call it a series when everything's a reboot? Anyways, you might want to check it out. I give The Invasion 2.5 out of 4 stars.